it's happening in New York, New Jersey, or Long Island, hear about it with Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.
Portions of this show sponsored by Route 22 Toyota.
That's what I just said. Hey, 727. I have to tell you, if you're thinking you have got one of the best public servants in Congressman Peter King. Long Island, you are New York is so fortunate to have Congressman Peter King. I tell you, he calls early in the morning. He's got so much to do. Congressman King, welcome back. We don't have. Oh, don't tell me we don't have him now. After all that,
I can't get the phone up.
He's not.
I can't.
Try it
no,
now.
Hold on.
Try it. How's that? Good.
Yeah, hold on.
Hold on, Congressman. Hold on.
On the B side.
This is good.
What is
See?
it doing here?
Did this happen when I wasn't here yesterday? No, not a glitch.
Try it again.
Congressman, do we have you there?
You have me.
Hey,
Can you hear me?
we got you now. Yeah, we lost you for a second. Congressman, I have to tell you, thank you, first of all, for all the great things that you do for your constituents out on Long Island. Thank you for serving on the House Intelligence Committee, the House Homeland Security Committee. We love that you wait on the phone as I read commercials. I'm looking and I see on the call board Congressman King calling in as I'm reading Route 22 Toyota. So the least we can do is take you over there. When you're in Jersey, can I take you to Route 22 Toyota, sir? Are you allowed to do that?
When I'm in Jersey, I'll do whatever you tell me to. I'm not going to fool around with you in Jersey. You're the man over there.
We got to take.
Just so you know, not only do I listen to you on the commercials, I was listening to you all yesterday afternoon. You and Juliet Papa doing the parade. It was great. Juliet's an old friend. It was great to see and hear her again.
She was great from WINS. She was great. And Kenny Rosato from Channel 7. And I know you got the St. Patrick's Day parade. And I know you got St. Patrick's with the Cathedral Basilica. But as Italians, we need all the help we can get. So for 3 hours, I told everybody how great the Italians are. Congressman, thank you for watching, indeed.
That was a great show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Hey, Congressman, so what happened? Your website was hacked.
What's that now?
Your website was hacked.
Oh, yeah, that was a scary thing. It was on Sunday night, and suddenly we saw this, black and red emblem goes over the website that says your website has been taken over. It's the Tim's Turkish Army or something. It's some group. It says it's based in Turkey. In the last year, they've taken over 2 or 3, 4. I think Britt Hume was hacked by them. Christian Walker at NBC.
Wow.
Peter Alexander.
Wow.
So anyway, luckily, we were able to get the malware out within a matter of hours. And the security company, we were back up and running, I guess, within about 12, 14 hours. The most important thing is on this server, there was nothing at all as far as anyone's personal data or financial information, home addresses, anything like that at all. So, no one was hurt by this. That was my immediate concern.
Yeah.
The contributors, whatever, would have their data on there. It's really a scary world, though. I mean, that this can happen. It's just gone. Just locked down. It was.
It's true.
Google. That can happen to anyone, I guess, at any time almost.
Was this the U.S. government website? Your government website?
No, this is my campaign website.
All right. Okay.
My campaign website. It was PeteKing.com, and we were actually involved in some fundraising at the time too. So then I started getting phone calls from people all that. I want to give you money. You won't even take it from you.
Yeah. Oh my Lord! But it's okay now, and no sensitive material was no.
Absolutely nothing sensitive at all. No, it's just
because
political positions, government positions, that type of thing. But nothing at all. Nothing involving intelligence. Nothing involving Homeland Security. Nothing at all governmental.
Scary. Hey, Congressman, are you relieved this Kavanaugh ordeal is over?
I really am. First of all, I supported Judge Kavanaugh, but even if I didn't, I mean, if Hillary Clinton had been elected president and she had selected, let's say, someone on the left who is as qualified as Judge Kavanaugh, my feeling is you have to vote for the person. If the person is qualified and is anywhere near the mainstream, the president has the right to nominate that person. Elections have consequences, and the Senate should vote to confirm that person unless there's something really serious. Well, the Democrats went out of their way to personally assassinate Judge Kavanaugh. I mean, what they did to him, to his wife, to his daughters, and the media going along with it. I mean, everyone was coming forward with a story. Now, Professor Ford was one story. I don't know what happened there, but the fact is nothing in her story could be confirmed by anyone. For instance, she said that her best friend was with her. The best friend said not only wasn't she there, she never heard of Judge Kavanaugh. She didn't know who he was. and you go down the line. The FBI interviewed all these people. But that was one situation. So I'm not going to question Professor Ford as to what was happening there, even though it appears definite that it was not Judge Kavanaugh. But these other cases they were running with about gang rapes and drugs and everything, and there was absolutely nothing to back that up. And yet the Democrats acted as if this were all the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
And here they are. They're so worried, for instance, when President Trump suspended the travel to this country of people from terrorist-controlled nations that had no security. They were worried about due process to people coming in from Sudan or Yemen, and yet they seem to have no concern for the due process of Judge Kavanaugh. You have here in New York, you have Kerry Kennedy is getting all these prisoners out of Rikers Island, saying that no one should be presumed guilty until they're found guilty. Everyone's presumed innocent. But no one thought that Judge Kavanaugh should be presumed innocent. It was absolute disgrace. And the reaction I'm getting, and again, this is all anecdotal, but I've been out quite a bit in the streets over the last 10, 12 days at shopping centers, at street fairs, that type thing. Yeah. Spontaneous events. Women coming up to me saying how outraged they were at the way Judge Kavanaugh was treated.
It's so funny. I get the same thing mostly from women that are just appalled. Now, is there a danger that if the Democrats gain control of the House that they'll try to impeach Judge Kavanaugh?
Well, basically, they said they would, and that would be so shameful. Listen, they started with impeachment, with talking about impeachment almost a day after President Trump was elected. Now they're talking about it with Judge Kavanaugh. And to me, in our country, we used to have hard-fought fights. Now, when Nixon lost to Kennedy, he could have challenged that. I don't know if he would have won or not, but he certainly had the right to challenge votes that disappeared in Texas and Chicago. But no, he immediately said John Kennedy was the winner. Give Al Gore credit. He lost the presidential election by about 300 votes. Yeah. And, 300 votes can go either way, depending on how you're looking at it and everything else. Yeah. And he immediately, that night, when the Supreme Court decided, he came out and he basically said, he specifically said that George Bush was the president. That's the tradition we have in this country. And even when Clarence Thomas, after all that he went through back in 1991, when he was confirmed to the court, nobody was talking about impeachment or continued investigations. When it's over, it's over. We have a sense of finality in this country. But apparently the progressive left, watching the scenes of them pounding on the Supreme Court door on Saturday and chasing senators down the hall, chasing Susan Collins into an elevator and screaming at her. This is mob rule. You can't have this.
And Congressman, that's what I want to ask you, because both of us have parties. You more so certainly than any of us here. But when you to your Democratic colleagues and you know them, and then they're going on this virtual witch hunt, not even put the Mueller probe aside, just on this witch hunt going after Judge Kavanaugh, and you know it and I know it and America knows it. This is a takedown, a concerted takedown. Senator Feinstein had that information in July. She never released it. They had nothing when it looked like Judge Kavanaugh was going to be confirmed. They bring this out, and what do you say? I don't even know. Like Cory Booker is a longtime friend, and I know I'm going to tick off if you're listening, and I always say he's a friend, and we disagree politically, but he's a friend. I don't know what to say to him when I see him. Like, Cory, what do you think? Spartacus? Really? Do you say anything? What do you say to your Democratic colleagues when they're this off base?
Well, again, a lot of this broke right as Congress was going back for the recess. What they say at times like this, at least the Democrats that I talk to, they'll say, well, that's the base of our party. We got to keep them happy. We got to calm them down. But I'm not really that way. That's what they'll tell you. But the thing is, you're enabling people like this to take over their party. They're enabling people like this to really give it, to me, a terrible image for the country. Yeah. And Cory Booker, I don't know him. I used to see him on the plane. I'd see him at occasionally at events.
Great guy, right?
Sportsful guy.
Yeah.
My impression was he was like a sort of a moderate, middle of the road type mayor who was getting the job done. Yeah. And now it's like watching a new person. It's just. But again, I don't know him like you do, but I was certainly disappointed in the way he conducted himself during the hearings.
A lot of those, I don't know how you put up with it down there, and then you see them face to face. You want to go, really? Is this what you're really thinking? But I guess they, like you said, they have to embolden their base. Hey, Congressman, before we let you go, we always appreciate your valuable time, sir. And I know it's running late, but this week is the 17th anniversary of the war in Afghanistan, and there was another deadly terrorist attack in which over 100 people were killed. What do you see as the best strategy going forward in Afghanistan, sir?
Joe, there is no easy answer, and the main reason we're in Afghanistan is to prevent Al-Qaeda and ISIS from getting a base and moving out from there. Also, it's important that we be there to have leverage over Pakistan. Pakistan has nuclear weapons. They are complicit often with Al-Qaeda and ISIS. It's a terrible situation, but right now I think we can't pull out because not so much of Afghanistan, but the consequences it would have for Pakistan and then going down into countries like Iran, Iraq, others. I mean, this is it would be, again, there's no easy answer here, but what we're doing now, I believe we should take some of the restrictions off the military. President Trump has done that, but there's never going to be a real democracy in Afghanistan. They're never going to, Thomas Jefferson's never going to get elected in Afghanistan. But the idea is to keep as much pressure as we can on ISIS and Al-Qaeda, and don't let them regroup. I mean, there is a reason why we haven't been attacked at all in the last several years. One of the reasons is because we're killing them over there before they get here.
Congressman Peter King, appreciate it. Listen, but when I do the parade next year, you're more than welcome to join us live on the air. So even though you're Irish, we'd love to have you on the Italian.
I would love to be there. You let me be up there. My God, that's great. We should take you up on that.
Okay, Congressman, we love you. Love to everybody at home, and we'll see you soon on the road, sir.
Great, Joe. Thanks a lot, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Congressman Peter King right there. There's a great guy doing a great job in Washington, and so very much appreciated.
Everybody knows this guy. Now, everybody knows he can do a radio show. Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.